the matter of State versus Sibiya and 4 others. The appearances for the state are the same.
Mr. Baloy, can you lend me pages of bench pad? Okay. Thank you. Yes.
Court pleases justice. It's for accused 1 to 4. The defense is still the same.
Mr. Madlala. Yesterday we had a situation which was unwarranted, which is unwanted. Like you saw yesterday, we ended our day without the media inside the courtroom. Today we started at a meeting where we met, being the legal practitioners, myself, and representatives of the media. If you look around in the courtroom, you'll realize that it looks different than it was yesterday. That is how seriously we regard the issue. And our hope and trust is that this will not repeat itself. And I don't know why, as I address this, somebody decides to switch their cell phone on, because that is not supposed to happen. I think in future, if that happens, whoever has a cell phone doing that should just excuse us. We don't want these interruptions here in court. Our belief is that we have set rules down that are sufficient for this case to proceed without hindrances and any semblance of intimidation. We are no longer going to allow photos to be taken left, right, and center. But there are people here from small media establishments whom we feel should be included because we are not exclusive in approach. I just felt I need to inform you that from the disturbances we had yesterday, and we are now going to proceed, and I remind you that you are still under oath.
Yes. Usakhunjuzwa Nkosi yami ukuthi usephansi kwesifungo sizona kahle Nkosi yami.
Yebo kuyazwakala.
Oath confirm my lord.
Ngiyabonga futhi indlela bethu.
Again my lord, I'm thankful the way in which this matter was handled.
You're welcome. On behalf of everyone. Advocate Michelle.
Yes, my lord. Have to pass this, my lord. My lord, as we proceed further cross-examination, may I ask that the post-mortem be uploaded so long, because I'll be referring to it shortly, my lord. May I also ask that the copy for the court be handed in if it's available, my lord. Post-mortem report conducted by Dr. Johannes. Yesterday, we did not have sufficient copies, my lord. But before we go to that document, I have few questions to ask before, my lord. Thank you. Mr. Madlala, yesterday you testified as to how the shooting incident took place. You remember when we were in that area of the shooting incident?
Ngizolunukeza ufakazi waqhaza ukuthi ke lokudubula kwenzeke kanjani ngesikhathi ke sichaza sikhuluma ngendaba lokudubula sakhumbula.
Yes, ngiyakhumbula.
Yes, I recall.
Can I just ask you a few questions? Maybe you have testified about that, but I need clarity on that.
Ngicela nje ukubuza imibuzo embalwa. Themba ukuthi lokho sowunikile ufakazi ngakho kodwa ke ngidinga ukuthi nje ngithole clarity ngakho lapho nalapho.
Okay, akunankinga.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. When the three people were struggling with the intruder who had a gun, and you were with the deceased and the second person next to the door, where was Longwe Twala?
Ngesikhathi labantu ababokuqala abathathu sisho umama laba abantu besifazane ngesikhathi bebhizi nalo muntu ungene eqala lo wayephethe isibhamu wena unomufi lo usenzo nalo wesibili eqine komnyango lo ulongwe Twala bekakuphi?
Na bekangekho endlini.
He was not inside the house.
Okay, can you just take me
Waphuma wabaleka ngithi.
He came out of the house running.
at what stage?
Uphuma baleka nini?
Ngesikhathi kungena lo muntu ongena kokuqala nesibhamu lo wenza ama threat.
When the first intruder entered the house, the intruder with deadlocks,
Did he run before you or after you?
uye wabaleka ngaphambi kwakho noma ngemva kwakho.
Uyena umuntu ophuma eqala endlini lo.
He's the first person to exit the house.
Is there anyone who followed him?
Ukhona uye walandela.
Ngaleso sikhathi ngithi mekaphuma bekangekho umuntu umuntu omlandela eduze.
Okay. By the time when he exited, there was no one following him closely.
Okay. So, Longwe Twala, as soon as the intruder appeared with a gun, he ran out of the house.
Ulongwe Twala ngesikhathi lo mhlasela angena aphethe isibhamu uye waphuma gijima aphuma lapha endlini.
Ya usuke esofeni lade ehleli khona waphusha lo muntu wayophuma ke ngaphandle.
Yes. He stood up from the sofa where he sat, and then he pushed this person off. He went outside.
And he was not shot.
Azange dutshulwe.
Cha akazange dutshulwe.
No, he was not shot.
And then Mthokozisi Twala, was he also inside the house? Is that Mthokozisi Twala?
Umthokozisi Twala ngesikhathi lesibeka phakathi endlini.
Umthokozisi angimazi ukuthi uphume ngasiphi isikhathi because immediately makuqhuma isibhamu mina ngibale ngayo ekamereni so kokwenzeke la ekishini ngazi lo msali waphuma or wenza kanjani.
Mthokozisi Twala, I don't know at what time did he exit the house because immediately after a shot was fired, I ran into the bedroom. So I don't know what transpired back then inside the kitchen.
But when you left, when you were struggling with the deceased and the second person next to the door, and the three were struggling with the first person who was carrying, was Mthokozisi Twala still inside the room? Inside the room?
Lalla ke mfowethu ngesikhathi laba besifazane bebhizi nalo uqala ungena ahlome ngesibhamu wena nomufi nibhizi nalo wesibili yena Mthokozisi Twala wayesesekhona phakathi lapha endlini.
Or you did not see?
Or cha noma zange umbone?
Angizange ngambona ngikhumbula ubika kuphi ngaleso sikhathi.
I did not see him. I don't recall where he was by that time.
Okay. And when then did you see Mthola back in the house?
Uphinde wabona nini futhi yena ke Mthozi swala abuyile endlini?
Ngalesikhathi sengifuna ukuvula ngithi sengizwa sekukhuluma into la endlini abanye bayakhala ngasikhathi sengifuna ukuvula la ngimbone ngaleso sikhathi sengivulela ngesipuni emnyango.
I again saw him when I was attempting to open the door from the bedroom. When I hear the people who were inside the house speaking, others were crying. By the time he was opening the door for me using a spoon.
Okay. Now let's then just revisit. You remember the diagram I showed you yesterday?
Uyayikhumbula le diagram engiboniswa ngizolo?
Yeah, ngiyakhumbula.
Yes, I do recall it.
And at the time of the shooting incident, the only person who was outside the house, it was Longwe Twala.
Ngesikhathi sokudubula umuntu wayengaphandle ngesikhathi sokuye kuphela uLongwe Twala.
Kuyena ngisho ukuthi umthuko nje angizange ngimbone ukuthi wayesephumile or engakaphumi mina ngizange nginaki but okwalonge uye phela wasukuma kuqala ngisho ukuthi uye wayesephumile.
Yes, about Longwe I would say yes is the one because Mthokozi Twala, I did not notice that during that time did he exit the house or he was still in, but yes, by that time it was only Longwe Twala who was outside.
When the shot was fired?
Ngesikhathi kudutshulwa?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Can you then also repeat for me here in terms of the post-mortem report? Can the diagram be depicted there, Mr. Sibande? Just the diagram only. Maybe, my lord, for the description of that is given in the diagram, it's contained in paragraph 4, my lord, of the post-mortem. The external appearances of the body, of the condition of the limbs.
Yes.
Mr. Tumelo, according to the doctor, in paragraph 4, you will just listen to what I'm saying. Yes. He says, the entry wound, it was situated over the right anterior chest wall, 1 centimeter to the right of the midley and 1 centimeter above the heel, is a 3 centimeter point 5 centimeter oval shape lacerated wound. The interpreter did not have the document. Paragraph 4.
Asibheka paragraph number 4 ne?
External appearances of the body.
And conditions of the limbs. Nice. External appearance of the body. Yes, we got it.
Okay. Can you interpret it for him, the first line I've read in paragraph 2? situated over the right.
La ke iyaqhaza ke ngenqeba leli elitholakala kuye umufi sizona kahle ne
Yebo, kuyazona.
ukuthi ke lingapha ke ngapha ngaka right la ku interior la ngasesifubeni sakhe
Yes.
ku 1 cm uma uya ngaka right and then uma ubheka kulo line oya phakathi midline and then futhi ku 135 cm uma ubheka ngaphezulu kancane nje and then uyaqhaza futhi ukuthi lokho kugcina futhi kwenza ukuthi kube 3 cm times 1.5 cm i-oval shape into oyinjenge kweqanda nje then inxeba lakhona lelo la dujule khona uyakubona lapho yes I do follow.
Let's continue also to the sentence which starts with the word on the same paragraph, my lord. The wound edges appeared seared, situated just below the skin, blackened, granular material consistent with gunshot residue are noted in the underlying soft tissue. In brackets, this wound is consistent with a contact bullet entrance wound.
Njengoba eqoqwa kizo la khulunywa ngale nxeba lokuthi ke uma kubheka eduze kuma edges wale nxeba lekubonakala ke ngaphansi ukuthi kungaphansi kweskin noma isikhumba sakhe then kunokulokho okukhona okumnyama futhi okunjengama granules uyangizwisisa lokho kuhambisana nokudutshula kwesibhamu lokho okuthiwa impuphu yakhona igun residue uyangithola gunshot residue and then kungaphansi kwaso lesikhumba lesi sakhe la adutshule khona and then lokho kuhambisana nani nokuthi ke udutshulwe nge-contact plate ukuthi aseduze njengoba sichazile izona.
Yeah, I guess.
Yes, it's understood.
Yeah. Then can you go back to the diagram?
Asibuke i-diagram ke
Sibanda?
asibheke lana.
Then you remember in your testimony is that the second person was standing at the door.
Uyakhumbula ukuthi efakazini bakho uthe umuntu wesibili bekami emnyango.
Yeah, we are telling ngala kumnyanga.
Yes, next to the door.
And then it means he was behind the deceased. Is that correct?
Lokho usho ukuthi bayangemuva kwakhe umufi ku. Kuyiqiniso lokho.
Beka ngemuva or beka ngaphambi komufi.
Do you mean that he was behind the deceased or in front of the deceased?
Okay. You can just tell me, maybe I'm mixing the facts, but from your testimony is that person was standing next to the door facing in-house.
Yes.
Kuye ngofakazi bakuthi lo muntu lo bakamela phela semnyango abheke ngaphakathi endlini.
Yes.
That's correct?
And then the deceased was facing that person facing the exit door.
Then umufi bekaqonda abheke ngakumuntu lo abheke nomnyango lo uphuma.
Yes, ubebheka umnyango uphuma emva kwakhe bengaphambi kwayo umuntu wangena.
Yena umufi bekangaphambi kwalomuntu.
Angisho bebebhekene kanje. So there's no other way ukuthi angaba ngemuva. Uzoba ngemuva kanjani with disease?
They were facing each other. There's no way that he will be at the back or behind.
And then at the back of the deceased, it was you, it was yourself.
Ngemva kwakhe umufi benguwe.
No, mina ngithi bese siseceleni kanje mangisuka ngizala ngigijima ngithi ngiyabaleka ngiyaphuma. Ibese ngiseceleni kwakho usenzo ngize ngikhona ukushaya lo mbenge ngikhona ukumshaya ngisemva kwakho usenzo.
Isn't that, I mean, my intention was to exit the house running, so I was next to Senzo, the deceased, so I was not going to be able to beat the assailant if I'm behind him.
Okay. But then also, the deceased was shot whilst there was that struggling, whilst the deceased was holding the second person's hand, and you were hitting the second person.
Yes.
Then lokhu tubona ke umufi udutshule ngesikhathi ke kukhona lokuhlangahlangana ngesikhathi yena umufi ke abambe yena lo muntu onihlasela ambambe ngesandla then wena umshaya.
Yes.
That's correct?
And when the shot was fired, it went through, you remember yesterday, it went through from Senzo and it exited.
Uyakhumbula ukuthi izolo sitheni ngesikhathi akudutshulwa ke lenhlamvu ingene kuye uSenzo yaseyiphuma idlula.
Yeah, ngiyakhumbula.
Yes, I recall.
As a court prisoner, we don't need to interfere with the Marlene's friend's cross-examination, but the witness testified that he had a shot being fired. He never testified, my lord, that that is the shot that struck the deceased. I think, my lord, counsel and the witness might be at cross purposes, but the witness has always said he had the first shot, and that's when he ran into the bedroom.
Yes?
My Lord, I think yesterday I did explain, my Lord, to the witness to say these are the findings by the doctor who conducted the post-mortem examination, my Lord. And the doctor is not saying it's what the witness is saying. But I'm referring the witness in terms of the findings of the doctor, my Lord, as he was directly involved in that position of the deceased when the shot was fired, my Lord.
You?
The point of the matter is counsel is laboring under the impression or perhaps understanding the witness to say that that first shot is the one that struck the deceased, whereas the witness is saying he had the first shot and he ran into the bedroom. I think that is the issue, my Lord, that needs to be clarified at this stage.
If I may assist as well, I think counsel for the state is also misleading when he says the first shot. The witness never mentioned whether it's a first shot or what. The witness said a shot. You must be clear on that, Your Lordship.
You are?
Thank you, my Lord. Mr. Madlala, when the shot was fired, okay, in terms of the findings that has been made by the doctor, is that the entry wound is at the front and it exited. My point is on this, is that the gunshot, when the bullet went throughout the body, it exited the deceased. Do you understand that?
Lala ke baba Mandla la sikhuluma ngemiphumela noma ama findings atholwe ngudokotela ne. Njengoba bonisa ku diagram ukuthi lelikhulu ngesikhathi lidutshulwa ke lingene ngapha ngaphambili la seliphuma kuye umufi uma ngasemuva. Ngiyakuzwisisa lokho.
Okay, ngiyakuzwa.
Yes, I do follow.
But the person who was standing behind the deceased was not injured.
Kodwa lo muntu bekeme ngasemuva kwakhe umufi azange alimali.
Understanding mhlawumbe ukuthi akalimalanga kanjani.
I don't understand. Is he or she is not injured? In what way?
Because makwenzeka njengoba ngisho ukuthi makuqhuma isibhamu mina ngabaleka ngawo qashe ekamereni. Lezwa ngithi okunye kwenzeka la ngemva ngazi kwenzakalani.
As I said that, immediately when the shot was fired, I ran into the bedroom to hide myself. As to what happened after I left, I don't know.
And angibonanga ngaleso sikhathi ukuthi usenzo wadubuleka because angibonanga ukuthi inhlamvu yayingena umuntu la iqhuma emoyeni. Ngezwa nje ukuqhuma kwesibhamu. Ngabona after sengibuye endlini ekamereni ukuthi usenzo ulimele.
And by the time when I ran off into the bedroom, I did not notice that Senzo was injured or shot at, because the only thing that I heard is just the shot was fired, then I ran to the bedroom. I then realized when I came back from the bedroom that he was injured.
I'm also referring to this because you were there. Maybe you can assist us. If you cannot, there is no problem with that. It's just what was found by the doctor that the bullet exited, and therefore I am saying to you, if it is true that there was an intruder behind Senzo, then the bullet should have hit that person who is the intruder.
Once again, we object to that, my Lord. The question presupposes that one shot was fired, and we submit, my Lord, that might confuse the witness. That is the first thing. And secondly, we submit, my Lord, that questions regarding issues of forensic nature should be reserved for the pathologists who conducted the post-mortem or the ballistic expert, my Lord. It's unfair to expect of a witness to comment on issues very technical as the entrance and exit door, my lord.
There you are.
My lord, I submit, my lord, with due respect that this line of cross-examination is crucial just for this witness, my lord, to respond where he can. If he cannot, there is no harm. I understand it's the findings made by the doctor, but I was just testing in line of what he has testified about regarding the position of the deceased, the second person who was standing with the deceased, and the witness himself when the shot was fired.
Remember, even the doctor might not be able to assist.
My lord.
So I think this requires somebody with ballistic insight.
Inside, my lord.
Yeah, I think that is what Mr. Baloy is raising.
Yes.
Because you are saying, I can hear what you are saying, whoever would have been standing behind Senzo should
Yes.
have been hit
By the bullet.
bullet upon exit from Senzo's body.
Yes, my lord.
But then I don't know whether it is for this witness to say whether it's there was no other possibility other than, that is the first, whether there was no other possibility than that person being hit by the bullet, number
Yes.
one. Number two, whether this bullet was, I think that's what he's saying, but I think that's beside the point, to say whether it is the only bullet, because I think whether it's the only bullet is besides the point, because Advocate Mshololo is talking about this bullet that entered the body and exited.
Yes, my lord.
Whether there were other bullets fired is besides the point.
Yes. Thank you, my lord. That is so. That is so. Thank you. My lord, if I can be allowed to ask just one question with the leave of the court. If it's overruled, it's overruled. The doctor's findings are that the entry wound was in front of the chest of the deceased.
Ungaphawula nokuthi uyakhona ke ngizokubuza na kumbuzo ukuthi ke udokotela noma ama findings kadokotela ke athi ke lenqeba ke lekule lingene ngapha ngaphambili la esifubeni.
Angazi lutho ngalokuthi la ngena kanjani, ngikuzwa nje mathi ingena lapho ngakuphi.
I don't know anything about the entrance of this bullet and also the exit. I'm just learning about it right here.
No, it's fine, I understand. But I'm just making reference to this. If you cannot comment, it's okay. Then the doctor, if the doctor says the deceased sustained entry wound in front, whilst the deceased was facing the door, it means the person who fired shot would have been in front of the deceased, not at the back.
Once again, we reiterate our objection. These are technical issues beyond the knowledge of the witness. Firstly, the witness has said he wasn't, after a shot went off, he ran into the house. And secondly, my lord, as we have already indicated, these issues are of a technical nature and should be reserved for experts. And thirdly, my learned friend can take up those issues in argument, my lord, but we respectfully submit that it's unfair to put such questions of a technical nature to a witness.
Okay?
My lord, I do understand it's a technical, it's a scientific evidence that is contained here, and the doctor will still be called. If the witness cannot answer on that, I will accept it, my lord. But I was drawn to the attention of this by the line of evidence the witness has testified about regarding the position of the people at the time when the shot was fired. To say if, because the witness said the shot was fired by people who were behind the deceased, my lord. It means the intruder who had a gunshot with the 3 female persons were behind the deceased. That's the evidence of this witness, my lord. And then the doctor says the deceased sustained entry wound in front of his chest. That is why I was asking in line with what the witness said. What do you say to what the
But
doctor
would the
found?
witness know how a bullet would behave if it enters
would
in the
behave.
front under those circumstances?
No, thank you, my lord. I'll withdraw.
I think that is what Mr. Baloyi is raising.
I
Because,
will.
if he gives you a certain answer and you ask further, I think you'll get stuck.
Thank you, my lord. I will rephrase. I just wanted to put it to the attention of the witness that to say, however, from what we have said, the doctor has found in contrary, and the doctor found that the entry wound was in front, not at the back, if it's true what we have testified about. But I will withdraw the question.
Okay.
How many shots were fired inside the house?
Kudutshuleka ngakhe phakathi lapha endlini.
Ngabe ngicamba manga uma ngithi ngiyazi udutshuleka ngakhe. Ngabe ngicamba manga uma ngithi ngabala ukuthi kwadutshuleka ngakhe.
I'll be lying if I'm saying that I know how many times the shots were fired.
Okay, did you hear one or more than once? Because there is one that you heard that
Yes.
made you to run away.
Yes.
So uzwe kudutshula kanye noma kudlula kanye ngokuthi lokhu kudutshula kanye ngikho kwenza ukuthi ubaleke.
It is one thing. Le shot mayisho uqala because yashaya ngezwe amandla bangathi avaleke. Lethu le ngibaleke khona ngayi kamereni. Okunye kwasala kwenzeka bese ngekho lapho bengishaya na uvalo ngaleso sikhathi.
That is why I'm saying that I did not count, because when the first shot rang, I mean, it hit so hard, even my ears were a bit somehow closed. That's why I ran back into the bedroom. As to what transpired after I left, I cannot tell.
When you entered inside the bedroom, did you have your cell phone with you?
Ngesikhathi ungena ebedroom buphethe cellphone yakho.
Yebo ngiphethe ngize ngayifaka ingubeni ngiyifihlile. Khona ingubo ezazika right mawungena eminyango kuleyo kamera. Afihle ingubo ngayifaka ngaphansi lapho.
Yes, I had my cell phone with myself by that time. I even hid this cell phone underneath the blankets, because when you enter into the bedroom, on the right hand side there were blankets there, so just inserted the phone there, hiding it.
Why didn't you call the police to report that there is a robbery or there is shooting inside this house when you were inside the bedroom now?
Kungani ungafonelanga amaphoyisa ubatshele ukuthi phela kune robbery kunokukhuthiswa lapha endlini ngesikhathi sokuphekathi ekamreni,
And you had closed the door at that time.
and ngesikhathi besovala isicapha.
Hey, angazi akufikanga lokho yabona makwenzeka into kuwena ku easy ma umuntu engenzeka ngaphambi kwakho ukhulume nje, but into mayisiyenzeka umqondo wakho angeke ucontrol ukuthi awenze ukuthi because into usuyicabanga nje la ukuthi ngiyafa or kufanele ngithole indlela yokuphuma.
It did not cross my mind, and again, it's easy for you to say something if the incident, it just happened to somebody, it did not happen to you. But then if it happens directly to you, I mean, your mind freezes. I mean, you cannot think about doing such things. The only thing that you think about is survival, running away, or I'm dying.
Okay. And also Longo Twala ran out before and also did not call anyone, did not call the police to come and attend.
Nayo lo ngethwala ke uyimani waphuma wabaleka ke azange abiza amaphoyisa ukuthi eze nawo lapha.
Ngicabanga ukuthi akaza wabiza because ambuza na time ukuthi mawuphuma uphumela ukuthi wathi beyofuna ibackup ne.
I think that he did not call the help of the police, because I inquired from him that when you exited, what was your intention? He said he was going to look for backup.
So eventually, what backup was he referring? Did you see any backup that came?
Ngiphi backup bekakhuluma ngayo uyayibona backup iza lapho wena?
Angazi ngiyibona mhlambe nokunye kusengayiphendulela yena because ngiyacabanga ukuthi usazoza na enkantolo.
I have never seen the backup, but I think on other aspects, he must come and answer for himself, because I believe that he's still going to come and testify before this court.
On that aspect. But there is no people who came to intervene after Longo Twala had ran out of the house.
Abekho abantu bayafika bangenelela ngemva kokuthi uLongo aphumile abaleka lapha endlini.
Cha bekho abuya na.
No.
And when you came out from the bedroom, where was Longo Twala by then?
Ngesikhathi uphuma lapha ekamereni bekakuphi yena uLonga ethola ngesikhathi leso?
Angibonanga nje.
I did not see him.
Okay, until when?
Kufikela nini?
When you were carrying out the deceased, was he there?
Ngesikhathi nikhipha umufi nimgugile bekakhona lapha?
Angibonanga bese kugcwele abanye abo nawa khona bafana babesiza la. I think abakamakhelwane o.
No, I did not see him because there were other boys. I think neighbors' boys who were assisting us there.
Now, I'm going to ask you about few facts. I am not saying that they are coming from you. They are facts that are contained in Exhibit C, which is a document that is before this court. Do you understand that, Mr. Madla?
Ngizokubuza ngamanye amaphuzu angithi aqhamuka kuwe kodwa ke lawo maphuzu aqhamuka kule nto kuthiwa i-exhibit number C noma ikhomba ubufakazi ekhona la enkantolo uyangizwisisa akuthiwa la maphuzu aqhamuka emlomeni wakho kodwa ala ku-exhibit number C ne
Ngiyakuzwa lokho. Angazi noma mhlawumbe angizwanga kahle izolo ukuthi masigcina la. Masibuya sobuya siqale ngani. Mhlawumbe sekhohliwe nayo.
I do understand that, but however, yesterday when we stopped the proceedings, I mean, we said we're stopping yesterday, and then when we resume today, there's a certain point where we are going to start from. Maybe you've forgotten about that.
No, I haven't forgotten about that. We're still coming there. You're still going to get that opportunity, but just allow me to ask, to lead the questions.
Asikakhohlwa ngalokho sisazofika lapho ngivumele ukuthi ngikubuze imibuzo nisho. No problem, you can proceed.
Okay. My lord, can you just refer the witness to Exhibit C, which is before this court? It was admitted as an exhibit. Mr. Madlala, I know you won't understand the language, maybe it will be foreign to you, but I'll try to explain. You understand?
Okay.
Ngiyazi ukuthi ulimi ngeke uluzwisise luzobonakala ngathi ulimi olukhulu kodwa ngizazama ukuthi ke ngichazele.
When the case has been committed and the case has been reported, it is investigated by the South African Police Service. Do you understand that?
Uma icala lenzekile then icala liyaphenywa uma seliripotiwe liphenye ngilaba bombutho wamaphoyisa wala ekhaya uyazwisisa?
Yes, ngiyakuzwa.
Yes, I do understand.
After the SAPS have done that, or whilst they are doing that, they take the docket to the department that is known as the Department of National Prosecuting Authority.
And mabaqedile noma basaphenya bathatha le dokote balise lapha ke ku National Prosecuting Authority.
You understand this?
I understand.
I do understand.
And that office is the office that is vested with powers in terms of the Constitution to decide on who to be arrested and who not to be arrested based on the information that has been submitted by the police. Do you understand that?
And lelo phiko lo ngilo linikeza amandla kuya ngomgwaqo so ukuthi lithathe isinqumo ukuthi ke ngubani oboshwayo ngubani ongaboshwa kuya ngolwazi noma ingqubaqa abazithola emaphoyiseni yazwisisa bani? Yes, I do understand.
And those people who are working there, they are usually referred to as prosecutors and state advocates.
Labantu abasebenza lapho ke babizwa ukuthi ngabachuchisi noma ama-advocates lawa wombuso uyangizwisisa bani?
Yes, ngiyazwa.
Yes, it's understood.
And those people, they are the only one who read evidence, analyze, and decide as to who should be charged in that case. Do you understand?
Yibo labantu laba abafunda lobufakazi baphinde babhlolisise futhi ke bathatha isinqumo sokuthi ngubani kumele aboshwe. Uyangizwisisa baba?
Yes, ngiyazwa.
Yes, I do understand.
So in this case, the Director of Public Prosecutions received a docket. Do you understand?
Manje ke la ulomqondisi walaba abachuchisi uye wathola idocket. Uyazwisisa lokho?
Yes, ngiyazwa.
Yes.
And from that information, And from that information, there is a decision which is still pending. It has not been finalized.
Kuqhamuka lapho ke sikhona isinqumo kodwa esisalingisiwe asikafinaliziwe. Uyangizwisisa?
Yebo ngiyezwa.
I do follow.
And the decision that is still pending is that you must be charged.
And isinqumo esisalingisiwe ungaphindi.
We object here. How can a decision that is still pending say that someone must be charged? We object to that question.
I'm getting confused. Are you not usurping the role of the NDPP?
Sorry, my lord?
Are you not usurping the role of the NDPP? Are you saying that the NDPP has decided, or are you
Has
saying
not.
has not? But
Has not yet.
but you are telling him that the NDPP
Has decided.
must decide that you be charged.
No, my lord, my apologies if I said that, my lord. I meant to say there is a pending decision
Yeah.
about you to be arrested, but it has not been taken. It has not yet been finalized
Yeah.
for you to be arrested, Mr. Master.
As a practice, my lord,
So is he able to
we
answer
reiterate
it?
our objection.
Or maybe, my lord, can I just rephrase it? Not for you to be arrested. A decision whether you should be arrested or not has not been taken. Is that fair, my lord?
My lord,
No.
once again, a decision is pending. Can my learned friend perhaps just leave it at that? And we suggest that it means precisely that the decision will be taken at the end of the trial as to who.
That decision will
What
be
will
made by
happen?
the NDPP, not so.
Yes. So we cannot speculate at this stage.
My lord, can I also refer to the response from the NDPP dated, I think it's dated the 22nd of August, if it's not 26, my lord, but it's,
Yeah.
it's going to be shown, my lord. I just want to go to one paragraph of that letter. I think it was exhibit AAA1. Let me see. AAA1. My lord, it's AA in brackets 1. It was submitted to court.
Yes.
Can you just go into paragraph 2? Let's show paragraph 2 of that letter. Yes, it's the correct letter, just the second line. Yes. It says, this office, meaning now, the Director of Public Prosecutions here in Pretoria, is therefore mandated to make a decision in respect of Force Laura's case 375/1/2019.
Asibuke la mfoko manje. You have very nice tone today, go. I've seen it.
Yeah. Has it been interpreted?
Ichaza ukuthi ke the office law lokushusisa lelisebenzelwe igumbi lithatha isinqumo malana nelecala laseFosloras case number 375/1/2019.
Yeah, mhlawumbe nayizolunga ngingasho ukuthi
Just wait, let me read the whole letter
oh okay.
before you comment. Okay. The third line says, in light of the fact that the decision in Force Laura's case 375/1/2019 depends on the credibility findings by the trial court in the current trial involving Force Laura's case 636/10/2019 2014, I have therefore decided that the decision in Foslorus case 375/1/2019 will be made at the conclusion of the current trial.
Mayiqhubeka le ncwadi ngofishazana nkosi yami ithi njengoba leli cala leyo onikeza ufakazi kilo la liphambi kwale nkundlo le amacala le ngamanye amagama isinqumo ngokuthwesa noma ungathwesi kwale cala leli umuntu ukuthi aboshwe noma ungaboshwa isinqumo sakho sizothathwa uma kuqedwa kukhulunywa leli cala liphambi kwale nkantolo. Ngiyamzwisisa.
Hayi inkingi.
No problem.
And it says the decision in this matter will depend on the credibility findings of this trial.
Ngamanye amagama ke isinqumo sokuthi ukhona ozathwesa icala noma ngeke athwesa icala ke kuzoya ke ngalesinqumo esizothathwa la ngokuthembeka kobufakazi obukhishiwe credibility kule cala lekukhulunywa ngalo manje.
Hayi kuyazwakala.
Understood?
And that includes the manner in which you, Mr. Madala, testifies in this court.
Lokho kufaka phakathi ngendlela nawo unika ngakhona ubufakazi la enkantolo.
Ngiyakuzwa kuyazwakala inkinga nalapho futhi.
I do follow. There's no problem also in that.
And therefore, in other words, as you are testifying here, whilst there is a hanging decision, you will want by all ways to protect yourself from this hanging decision. Is that not so?
We object to that question. It's an unfair question. The issues that my learned friend has referred to has got nothing to do with this witness. He's here to tell his story. As to the credibility findings, that is what will be determined by this court at the end of the case. We suspect that we request that that question be overruled now.
Are you not addressing him as if he's testifying under 304?
Under 375.
304. Section 304.
No, my lord.
Where somebody testifies and is told that if he tells the truth, that will be the end of the matter. If he doesn't, he may be charged.
You'll be charged 204, my lord.
Yeah, 204, sorry.
Yes. No, my lord, I know he's not 204, but I just wanted the witness to comment because this is an exhibit that is before this court, and his name is included in this document, my lord. I was raising this in line of those bases to say the reason maybe why he's testifying is like this, it's because of the hanging decision, my lord.
Mr. Matala, are you testifying with an intent that your testimony should result in you not being charged?
Unikeza ufakazi ubheke ukuthi ke ufakazi bakho buzawugcina ngesinqumo sokuthi wena ke ungathwesa icala.
Ufakazi engimnikeza la akusikho lokho. If kuwutumelo wrong naye uzoya ejele. Angekho umuntu engimprotecta at all.
The testimony that I'm giving you is not about that. If it's Tumelo that is wrong, he has to go to prison. So there's no one that I'm protecting.
Please.
Thank you, my lord. I'll move on, my lord. And in the, sorry, Advocate Sivande, can you just go back a little bit to Exhibit C, page 9 of Exhibit C, my lord? Page 9 of Exhibit C, that's summary of substantial facts. Thank you.
The state objects to any reference to Exhibit C. We have Exhibit C in brackets 1 and Exhibit C in brackets 2, where the Director of Public Prosecutions in Johannesburg disavows Exhibit C, saying these were just the musings of a junior advocate. How can, in light thereof, my lord, questions then be asked in respect of Exhibit C? We object, my lord, to any questions that are based on Exhibit C in light of what the DPP Johannesburg has stated in Exhibit C1 and C2.
Your Lordship, we have a serious, if I might be allowed, Your Lordship.
I can't hear you.
Honorable Justice, we have a serious problem which affects the constitutional rights of the accused with regard to those letters from the DPP. Hence, our instructions are that either after this witness or before the witness finish, we make a proper application for review of these proceedings. Because these letters on their own exhibits, it affects the way the witnesses will testify. Basically, these letters are saying we put a they're putting the witnesses in the corner to say it's up to you whether you implicate yourself or not. If you don't implicate yourself, you walk free. And if you implicate yourself and this accused walk free on this matter, then you will be charged. Basically, what they are saying, the state is grasping the straws, Your Lordship. Hence, our instructions, I didn't want to delay these proceedings from yesterday. Our instructions as to make an application for a review. I here give notice to that effect that once this witness is finished testifying, or the court decide that this witness must stop testifying, this matter be stood down, then we make a proper application in another court for review of these proceedings, because there are a clear constitutional violation of the witness in the box who cannot testify freely because there's a chop hanging on all these witnesses, for that matter, Your Lordship, based on all these letters from the state. And these people who wrote these letters from the state doesn't say they're going to call them as witnesses. But now we have exhibits of that nature. They are coming before the court, before the Honorable Court, using the Honorable Court to fulfill their own goals. At the expense.
My problem, Mr. Tovani, and it has been the problem. All the time when the legal representative of accused number 5 is conducting cross-examination, the legal representative of accused number 1 to 4 intervenes. Because it is not your opportunity now. It isn't.
If I do that, Lordship, I apologize, but I just want to highlight our instructions.
But there's still time, plenty time for you to do that. Because, I mean, she's cross-examining. You know what cross-examining is?
Yes, Your Lordship.
She's cross-examining on a line. Now you are rising. She may lose track of her own line. And this has been happening from the beginning of this trial. And it is not right.
I apologize for that. I'm trying, Your Lordship, to show the impact of this letter. With due respect, the senior counsel dealt with the letter. Hence, I now rise up to raise our concerns. If I interrupted, I apologize for that, but I hereby need to give a notice. I will allow senior counsel to proceed. However, it must be noted that we intend to do that. As a court, please. I apologize for it.
But your criminal procedure lessons should have told you when to rise. She is on the podium cross-examining. What you are saying, there's nothing wrong with what you are saying. There's everything wrong with the timing at which you are saying.
I apologize if I will repeat myself, Your Lordship.
Yeah, you apologize and do it.
No, the reason why I'm doing the reason I'm doing it, Your Lordship, is that the main reason why I rose up.
No, it's not your time. It is not your time. Allow her to use her time. When you were cross-examining, she never rose.
No, I don't have a problem with that. The reason is why I raised it, Your Lordship, because
no,
she
don't raise it now. It's not your time. It is not your time. It is the opportunity for Advocate Mushololo to cross-examine. May you please allow her to do that.
As a court, please, I'll do that.
That's the court business, my lord. Thank you. My lord, in response to the objection raised by the state, my lord,
Yes.
My Lord, I will repeat. This is the document that is before this court. There are other communications, responses from the author or from the DPP regarding the status of this letter. And the court has not made a final ruling on this document. We are still going to argue on merits, my Lord, as to which evidence should be accepted by this court and which evidence should not be accepted by this court. But at this stage, during trial, a defense cannot be prevented from conducting cross-examination, clarifying issues, facts that are contained on each and every document that is before court, my Lord, especially when it is in relation to the witness who is testifying. It's not a new document that I'm introducing, my Lord. It is before court. I understand the letters have been sent as like the one I've just read, but we are still going to make the submissions regarding the credibility of these letters. And
I hear what you're saying. But
yes, ma'am.
the only issue I have is whether this witness
Yes, my Lord.
can testify on the contents of those letters, not having been the one who wrote those letters.
Yes, I agree.
This might be pointing us some direction, but my worry is when somebody sits in an office, probably in Joburg, and writes a letter, and we go to KwaZulu-Natal and pull somebody to come and answer on what is contained in those letters.
I agree with His Lordship. That is true and that is correct. My Lord, I am not asking about the whole content of the document, but it will be on a specific reference, which I think, my Lord, the court will overrule, which I think this witness maybe can respond to that. Not the whole content, but it's just those few paragraphs. And I'm not saying the information was given by this witness, but it's the information that is contained in this document that is before this court about the witness, my Lord. Not the whole content of the document, I understand, and I cannot do that because he is not the author, my Lord. But there are some references regarding the witness who is testifying, of which I just need him or to respond. If he can respond, if he cannot respond, there is no problem also with that, my Lord.
Mr. Madala, can you respond?
Ngakwazi ukuphendula kule nkulumo lesonozwa nguye ummeli ukuthi uzobuza ngamaphuzu athile kulele document noma le document le.
Ngingakwazi ukuphendula only if sesiqale ngalento besithe soqala ngayo ekseni.
No, Mr.
Ngimaqala ba.
No, Mr. Madala, remember the defense is not bound to take any particular line in cross-examination. So forget about everything and concentrate on the question put to you. I'm saying, somebody said, you heard me say, somebody sat in Joburg and wrote a letter, who is a member of the police services. Now, you are being asked about the contents of those letters or that letter. Are you able to answer?
Yeah, ngizophendula ngibuzwa ngale docket le.
No, not the docket.
No, I talk
The question that was read.
Okay. No, ayikho ngiphendule ngizophendula.
There's no problem in answering. I'll give an answer.
Oh, you didn't hear the answer, the question?
No, sengangiphindela.
Can you
Maybe
repeat
the question may be repeated for me.
Thank you, my Lord. In the on page 9, my Lord, of Exhibit C,
Yes.
paragraph 5. it says accused number 1. Oh, sorry, my lord, can I just refrain from using accused number 1 because it will confuse the record. Let me just put the name.
Please, my lord, can I just get an indication, has the court already made a ruling? Because if not, we still want to pursue the point further, the objection, my lord, that we have raised. Can we allow, my lord, to develop that objection further?
You are? Okay.
Yes. My lord, we've indicated that Exhibit C has got no status at all. It will therefore be an exercise in lily cuddling to spend any amount of time on that Exhibit C. We indicated at some point, my lord, that in any case that serves before a court, there are 2 issues, my lord, that usually need to be decided upon. The facts in dispute, as we mentioned, the factor probanda, and the facts that are used to determine those facts that are in dispute. As they say, factor probantia. Any cross-examination that doesn't help the court to resolve those 2 issues, my lord, is irrelevant. We are therefore saying, my lord, that any cross-examination based on Exhibit C, it's of no force and effect because Exhibit C has got no status. A witness cannot be cross-examined on something that has got no status. My lord, that is the crux of our objection, and we request, my lord, that we should perhaps not dwell any further on Exhibit C and rather move along, because as we mentioned, my lord, that will be an utter waste of court's time, as Exhibit C has got no status at all. Thank you, Lord.
My lord, with due respect, cross-examination is not done because it will amount to a waste of a time, my lord. But the value on the line of cross-examination that I'm asking this honorable court to allow me to do, it is because this exhibit is a document that is before this court. And this court still has to decide on it, my lord.
But isn't this document, isn't there further indication that this document does not exist in reality? Because it is disowned by the very people that whom you say wrote it.
My lord.
And my feeling is that, how should I put it? My feeling is that we are now trying to get into a review through this case, which would not be proper to do.
My lord, I agree with his lordship, but my view, my lord, with due respect, is that this document is before court, and the state has responded to say the decision contained in this exhibit was taken by a junior. We're still going to address this court on that, my lord, when we're addressing on merits. And then there's another exhibit, my lord, above that, saying that a final decision has not yet been made, so it is still pending. And that letter makes reference to the findings of this trial, my lord. Therefore, my lord, that's why I submit with due respect to say, as a result of that the state has indicated that the final decision will be dependent on this, and the witness who is testifying is the person who has knowledge of the facts that I need to clarify with.
But then you put a pointed question to him to say, are you not testifying so as to avoid being prosecuted later? And he gave it. Now you want to go into the contents of a letter which, number one, he did not write, number two, around which, the status of which is in contention.
My lord, yes, I agree the witness has responded, my lord.
Yes.
But the information that I was going to ask is not suggesting that he is still going to be arrested or is in line with what he has already responded. It's on something else, my lord.
Yeah, but that document is disowned. That's why I keep on saying it now strikes me that we are doing something within something. If the status of these documents is that crucial, then maybe you should go the right route of setting the record straight around them. Instead of us debating these documents on the basis that they may or may not be documents that can be ascribed to SAPS. I think we need more than what is being said here, even more than what you are saying. And that being the case, to expect a lay person to express on them is even more unfair.
As the court pleases. As the court pleases, my lord, I will move on, my lord. May I ask for the adjournment, my lord, in that regard?
Okay. Until what time?
It's 1:45, my lord. If we can resume, it's 1:45 now. If we can resume at 1:45, just take a 1 hour adjournment.
Does everyone agree? Because the other problem is we agree upon time, and when we come back here, not everyone is here.
Or maybe at 2. We can resume at 2, my lord.
Okay. Brother James? Let's proceed. Mr. Madala, you are reminded that you are still under oath.
Usakhonyuzwa baba ukuthi usephansi kwesifungo ngisho Nkosi.
Yebo, ngiyakhuluma.
Oath confirmed.
Yes?
Thank you, my lord. Sir, do you know the person called Lungisi Edward Shope?
Lo muntu okuthiwa ngu-Edward Mlungisihloko uyamazi?
Yebo ngiyamazi.
Yes, I do know him.
How do you know him?
Umazi kanjani?
Usibari waka Senzo.
He's a brother-in-law of the deceased.
What is your relationship with him as we speak today?
Then relationship yakho naye ke yini?
If you are really-
Angimbona amakhona uSenzo nje isikhathi esiningi.
I only saw him when the deceased was present most of the time.
Well, did you understand the question?
Mara umbuzo uzwisisile baba.
What is your relationship with him currently as you speak?
Kwamanje relationship yakho naye ime kanjani? Ubudlelwane benu?
Eish kunzima ukuchaza relationship because angikazi ngibe na relationship naye mhlawumbe uthi siyavakashelana or something. Umuntu nje ngithi umuntu ngimbona makhona uSenzo. So relationship
It's difficult to can explain about the relationship because this is the person that I can say we visited each other because most of the time I saw him when the deceased was there. So it's difficult to can establish or explain
So
about the
you've
relationship.
never quarreled with him?
Azange ube nokuqhara noma ukwebana phakathi kwakho naye.
ayangikhumbuli.
I don't recall.
Okay. Can the statement for the witness be uploaded? a copy. It's not an exhibit, it's a new statement, my lord. From Lungisi Edward Hlophe. I have arranged with the state to make extra copies for the court, and the other one is going to be uploaded very soon. And for the witness. Thank you. Thank you, my lord. Can I proceed, my lord?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Tumelo, this person, Mr. Mlungisi Edward Hlophe, made a statement which is dated the 6th of March 2019. Do you understand that?
When the statement when Edward Hlophe the 6 March 2019 yokuzwisisa lokho?
Yebo.
Yes.
And then in his statement, I'm not going to bother you with all the paragraphs. We'll just go in wherein I want you to respond on what is contained here about you.
Angizohlupha ngawo wonke ama paragraphs ukuthi siye kiwo kodwa ngizoya ngqo la ngifuna ukuthi ke uphendule mayelana lokho okuqondene nawo.
It was made on what date?
On the 6th, my lord, 6th day of March 2019 in Devon.
Yes.
Mr. Interpreter, can we
You said the 6th of March
2019, my lord. 2019.
Yes.
Thank you, my lord. Can you skip the first page? Yes. The second page? My lord, unfortunately, there are no paragraphs in this statement, that's why I'm... And then on the third page, you see the third page?
Yes, we can see the third page.
Which starts with the first line, I went to the back room. Are we on the same page? I went to the back room where I found...
It's on the third page.
Third page. The page that starts with the line, I went to the back room where I found Sfiso, his wife Zintle, and Tumelo Madlala's girlfriend.
I went to the back room where I found Sfiso. That's not page 3, it's page 4.
Page 4.
Yes.
Okay.
I went to the...
Thank you. Let's read that page 4. Let's go to the second paragraph then,
Asiye kule paragraph yesibili.
which says, I went back inside my car. I called Tumelo Madlala on the third night, 26 October 2014. Do you see that?
Uyayibona la futhi ekhonumele ukuthi ke ngiye ngaphindela phakathi kwemoto yami la ngibize khona ke uTumelo Madlala ngabo lobusuku bange 26 October ngalobusuku bange 26 October.
Yeah, ngiyabona.
Yes, I can see that portion.
I wanted to get the truth of what exactly happened. You see that?
Uyabona lapho ukuthi atsho khona ukuthi kahle kahle bukafuna ukuthola kahle iqiniso ukuthi kahle kahle kwenzakaleni.
Yeah, ngiyabona.
Yes, I can see that portion.
Tumelo told me that there was a fight in Kelly Kumalo's house.
Uthi uTumelo umtshela ukuthi bekunempi noma ingqabano ngaphakathi kwendlu kaKelly.
Zandi was fighting with her boyfriend.
uZandi bekala ke ne boyfriend yakhe.
And Senzo Meyiwa was trying to separate the two.
uSenzo bekazama ukuhlukanisa laba ababili.
Zandi and her boyfriend. Was,
uZandi ne boyfriend yakhe.
I further asked Tumelo who was Zandi.
Ngaqhubeka ngambuza uTumelo ukuthi ubani uZandi.
Tumelo told me Zandi was Kelly's sister.
uTumelo wangitshela ukuthi uZandi ungudadewabo kaKelly.
That was the short conversation I had with Tumelo.
Uthi ngiyokuphela ingxoxo encane abenayo nawe.
Did you hear that?
Yeah,
What is written?
yeah.
Yes, I hear clearly.
What's your comment to
uPaul uthini ngale nkulumo le ebhalwe la statement?
Ngiyasazi ngiyaqala ukusibona le statement lesi.
It's the first time I see the statement.
And okwesibili if le statement besikhona ubeka ngasenzi ngani kusanda kwenza ngithi uthi wangifonela nge26 why asubmitted 2019 okwesithathu
Ima kancane. Then why didn't he made the statement? Because he said that he phoned me on he called me on the 26th. Why didn't he made it on the same day instead of making it later? Then Kubeka?
okwesithathu ngayikhuluma lento yama calls if kuthiwa khona umuntu okwangifonela or ongifonelile leyo nto bangayitracker down futhi angeke ngikwazi ukuthi ngingakhuluma kuyena ngamjwayele ngiyekhuluma kwi-family or kumngane kubantu angiclose nabo.
I did mention earlier about this issue of calls that when it comes to them, I mean, they can be tracked so that it can be found out, and then it's possible that I can talk to him, the person that I was not used to, instead of speaking to the family.
Last one. And okunye futhi unamanga makade akamazi uZandi. uKheli ubefika emzini wakhe lo muntu ahlale noma isonto lonke. Emzini wakhe lo muntu lo. Emzini wakhe lo muntu lo khuluma lento.
And he's telling lies if he says he does not know Zandi. Then Kelly will visit the place of this person and spend the whole week at this house of this person.
on the date?
I didn't hear the last. What did you say?
He's saying he's lying if he say he does not know Zandi, because Kelly will visit the place of this person and will spend a week at his place.
Whose place?
Indawo kabande.
Kulo bhala le statement.
The author of the statement. Ngaqhubeka khona ufuna ukusho.
Ngizokhanjeleka kanjani lento. Ukuthi ngiyazi futhi ukuthi le statement sibhale ngaphansi kokuthi ubani bephusha la ma false statement. Ngiyamazi umuntu beka waphusha.
Okay. How can I put it? Again, I can say that I know under which conditions this statement was taken down. I know the agenda that who's the person who was pushing that narrative.
But is it correct that there was a fight inside the house between the people who are mentioned there?
We can ukuthi beyikhona impi ngaphakathi kwalendlu bibo labantu okukhulunywa ngabo kule statement.
And Senzo, the deceased, was trying to intervene.
And uSenzo yena umufi wayezama ukubehlukanisa.
Amanga lawo.
That's a lie.
Amanga lawo. Njengoba ngithi yonke into le create amanga lawo.
As I'm saying that everything that has been created here is lies.
And mhlambe futhi ngokuhamba kwesikhathi asazoza ama witness azoyikhuluma leyo. Amanga lawo. Angikwazi avela phi.
And then maybe as the time goes on, the witness will come to the court and testify about that. But these are lies.
Ngiyacabanga ukuthi asikho statement sami esibhalwe lento. Esami ezami statement. Why ngiyekela one ubaleke ngani?
So I think that amongst my statements that I deposed off, there's nowhere where I wrote down about this thing. And just leave him. How is important here?
After the incident had occurred, did you at any stage speak with Mr. Hlophe?
Ngemva kokuthi lesehlakalo sehlakale ke senzeke uyiwakhuluma naye lo mnomzana lo uHlophe.
Besides what is contained in this statement, on any other issue?
Angikaze
ikhona into oyayikhuluma naye ngaphandle kwalokho okubhalwe phakathi estatementini.
angikaze ngimfonela ngaze ngikhulume naye umuntu engamkhuluma nawo umfowabo kaSenzo.
I've never called him, I've never spoken to him. The only person that I spoke to, that is the deceased brother.
ngaphandle kwama-family member.
Except my family members.
Did you attend the funeral for the deceased?
Uye waya emngcwabeni wakhe umufi?
Yes ngaya.
Yes.
Yebo ngaya. Ngizangifika mathuna noda ngaya ngihamba noSiya ukhazini wakhe uSenzo. uSiya wakaSenzo ngihamba ngani.
Yes, I did attend the said funeral. However, I did not reach the graveyard, but I was in the company of Sia, that is the cousin of the deceased.
Okay. But it also, is it true that the father for the deceased banned you from attending the funeral?
Kuyiqiniso ukuthi uyise kamufi uye wakunqabela ukuthi uze emngcwabeni.
Hayi angaze ngikhulume akekho umuntu ongitshela leyo nto.
Nobody told me about such a thing.
There is a statement that you also made on the 17th of February 2020, wherein you said you didn't attend the funeral. In your own statement,
What is the date of the statement?
20 February 2017, or 17 February 2020. Sorry my lord, it's A133. A133.
Yes.
It's Exhibit O, sorry my lord, thank you. It's Exhibit O, my lord. My lord, I have requested the state to type this statement. It is the procedure, my lord, in High Court proceedings that if the handwritten statement is not eligible, then there will be a typed version. But it's not signed, just for the ease of reference, my lord. There is a typed statement that I'll be going through so that we can be able to move on properly. Do you have the statement?
Nasi statement. Yes, I do have it.
Do you have the typed one?
Uphethe lesi typiwe.
Yebo.
Yes, I've got the typed version.
And then let's go to paragraph 9
Asibheke paragraph number 9. Phenya kanje ikhasi
of Exhibit O, my lord.
nani paragraph number 9.
You see that?
Uyayibona le paragraph number 9?
Yes,
I-
go on.
Yes, I
I
can
then-
see the paragraph.
Let's read together. I then came back to Umlazi after Mandla 500 rand for transport from Johannesburg, and I went straight to Senzo Meyiwa's parents' house to report the problem. And his father suspected me of killing Senzo, and I even informed Sfiso about the problem of his father swearing at my mother.
Uthi uye wabuya ke wabuyela eMlanzi ngemva kokuthi uMandla akhiphe 500 rand for i-transport ukuya eGoli waya straight kuSenzo Meyiwa ebazalini bakhe ekibo uyireporta ngayo lenkinga, then ubaba wakhe waba ney'nsolo zokuthi wena ngukuleli ndodana wase utshela nawo Sifiso ngale nkinga ukuthi ubaba wakhe ubaba kamufi ke usongela umama wakho.
That's a statement now.
Yeah.
I-statement sakho lesi.
Statement sihlukela ukuthi wayesolisha umama, wayesolisha umuntu engithandana naye ezomthuka ekhaya.
The difference
Hayi umama, yabo ukuthi bamisa into eningi. Wayesolisha umuntu engithandana naye emthuka. Hayi uma wami.
The difference in this statement is the mistake that they made when they wrote it. He was not swearing at my mother, but to the person that I was in love with, not my mother.
The first portion of that paragraph, it
You were
says,
swearing at who?
The person that I was in love with.
Yes.
the first portion says, and I went straight to Senzo Meyiwa's parents' house to report the problem. and his father suspected me of killing Senzo. The deceased father suspected you.
uyise kamufi uye waba nensolo ukuthi ngubulela indodana.
First time when you came to report, I think the problem is the death of the deceased.
Ngesikhathi uzokuqala uzobika ngale nkinga ngicabanga ukuthi le nkinga ke ngikho ukushona kwakhe umufi.
Ya mangizoyibika baba kaSenzo bengekho edayinini. Ngayikhuluma noma kaSenzo kunabanye abantu ababehleli ke la because maSenzo behleli lapha emakhandeleni. Ngakhuluma noma kaSenzo ngaze ngikhulume nobaba kaSenzo. Because ngaqala la benginemoral service khona egroundini. So ngathola ukuthi akekho. Nganyuka ngaya ekhaya kubo kaSenzo la ngafica khona ngakhuluma noma wakhe ngimchazela sonke isimo.
Okay. When I explained about the problem that occurred, Senzo's father was not inside the dining room. I spoke to the mother of the deceased because initially when I arrived, I went to the sports ground or a ground where there was a memorial service. And then when I spoke to the deceased mother, she sat by the candles when there were other people there.
When you arrived in Durban, after the death, immediately after the death of the deceased, before the funeral, did you report the death of the deceased to the deceased father?
Ngesikhathi ufika eGoli ngaphambi kokuwena ubuya lapha eGoli ufika eThekwini ngaphambi komngcwabo uye wakubika lokushona kwakhe umufi ukubika kuyuyise.
That is why ngithi mangingena ngene dining kunabantu abadala.
Did you report to the deceased father?
Umbuzo uthi uye wabika kuyo uyise kamufi na.
Ngibike kumama wakhe.
I reported to the mother.
At any stage, did you ever report the incident to the deceased father?
Kwesinye isikhathi ke noma isikhathi esambili kukhona la kuye wabika khona ke lokushona kwakhe umufi ukubika kuyise.
Okubalekile kwami ukuthi ngafika ngareporta nekhaya kubo. Ngangeke ukuthi akubalekile ukuthi mangireporta kusefane ngiriporte kuba mangireporte kumama kuyafana ukuthi ngiriporte kubaba.
What is important is that I gave the report at his house. It was not important for me to report it to him. I mean, if I gave the report to the mother, it's as good as I gave it to the father.
Okay. So in short, you never reported the death of the deceased to the deceased father.
Ngofishazana nje ukufa kwakhe noma ukushona kwakhe lo mufi lazange ukubike kuyise.
Ngiyasho futhi ngiriporte kumama wakhe because uyena ngamfika esedining makhe behleli.
I repeat again, I reported about this death to the mother because she was the one sitting in the dining room.
Okay. And you did not go to the graveyard?
Azange uye emathuneni.
Ya usiya because bekugcwele nemoto bekugcwele usiya wathi ajike kwawuyena ungibuyisele ekhaya ukhazini wakhe uSenzo usiya. Wawuyena ungibuyisele emuva because kwakugcwele nje.
The reason is because it was full and many cars, and then Sia, the cousin of the deceased, the one who said I should go back home.
Yeah, you are lying what you are telling this court. You did not even go to the graveyard because the deceased father was very angry with you and he had banned you from attending the funeral.
Azange uye emathuneni ngokuthi uyise kamufi bekathukuthele kakhulu ngawo futhi wayenqabele ukuthi ke ube khona lapha emngcwabeni.
Kwamanga lokho bengengikwabuya kwasiqaleni because stadium ngangikhona ngihleli eMasuti futhi nakhona if bengisabe ngingisabe kanjani abantu ngizosaba bakaSenzo.
That is a lie. Even at the stadium, how did I manage to go there? Because at the stadium I sat at the suites, then how would I have attended that if I was afraid of the deceased father?
Okay, let's move on to the date of the...
Sorry, it's a fact that the deceased father has also since passed on. Can we establish if someone is going to be called to substantiate what is being said now, not what is being put to the witness?
I've moved on, my lord, to that question. Can we move on to A10 statement? A10 statement. I'm not sure whether it has been uploaded.
We raise a point, if maybe we can just get clarity on that aspect. It's been put as a fact to a witness. We just want to establish, is there going to be someone to substantiate that fact?
Can you respond?
Yes, my lord, a witness will be called to come and testify with that regard by the defense.
Here you are.
A10? A10 of 375. This is the statement by Kaya Sterling Ngashe, who is the neighbor at Kelly Kumalo's place. You don't have it? Okay. My lord, can I just read it because I'll be referring to only one paragraph of the statement. If the
Yes.
state doesn't have it.
Yes.
What was the deceased wearing on the date of the incident or at the time when the incident took place?
umufi wayegqokeni ngesikhathi kuyehla lesehlakalo?
I think wayegqoke i-t-shirt ngathi white yeah ne-jean namateka white ephuma.
I think he was wearing a t-shirt, white in color, and a jean, and also white tekis, and then they make it of Puma.
A10. A10. Do you know this person, Kaya Ngashe?
Uyamazi lo muntu okuthiwa uKhaya Ngashe?
Hayi angimazi.
No.
He is a neighbor to Kelly's house place where the shooting incident took place.
Ungumakhelwane wala kwenze khona lesehlakalo.
Okay.
Okay?
How do you spell Ngashe?
Sorry, my lord. It's NGCATSHE.
Yes.
This person also made a statement.
Naye lo muntu wabhalisa istatement sakhe.
I'm going to read to you a certain portion wherein I will want you to respond to. Do you understand?
Ngizokufundela ingcenye lapho ngizofuna ukuthi khona ke uphendule siyazwana?
Yebo.
Yes.
It's paragraph 6. Paragraph 6. After a short while, in my bedroom, I heard a commotion and shoving and some noise from Kumalo's residence, which is our back opposite neighbor, house number 13511.
Uyayibona ngene ukuthi kuyifuna ukuthi ngemva kwesikhashana ke angale kamereni lakhe uye wezwa ukuthi kune commission umukhlanga nokuphushana lapha ke nomsindo futhi ngale ngakakhumalo la hlala khona bakakhumalo lapho ke kungibo abomakhelwane babo be-back opposite.
Yes, yes.
Yes, I do follow.
Firstly, I thought maybe the people at the Kumalo's residence were partying.
Uthi kokuqala uyacabanga ukuthi abantu laba bakakhumalo ke hayi bane party.
The shoving and pushing because was so loud that even I peeped through the bedroom window.
Uthi ke lokuphushana ke lokho kube nomsindo wakho ube mkhulu kanjalo ke waze yagcina hlola ngale festere lase kamereni.
Okay. Listen to this now. As I peeped through the bedroom window, I saw
bahlola lapha efestereni le kamereni.
I saw the person whose back was against the kitchen window of Kumalo's residence.
Uthi uyabona umuntu lo umqolo wakhe ungasefestereni la ngapha ngakwakhumalo.
The person was wearing the white t-shirt, but I could not see who the person was.
Uthi lo muntu wayegqoka isikipha esimhlophe kodwa azange akwazi ukubona ukuthi lo muntu lo ungubani.
So it means when he threw, and the person is then who was wearing a white t-shirt inside the house.
Ya usenzo bayagqoka isikhibe esimhlophe.
It Senzo who was wearing a white t-shirt.
Only.
Nguye kodwa akade agqoke le t-shirt emhlophe.
Noma ngingakhumbuli kodwa nje yena wayegqoke emhlophe le day.
Even though I don't recall, but the deceased was wearing a white t-shirt on the day.
So it means the neighbor saw the person who was wearing the t-shirt which is of the same description with the t-shirt that was worn by the deceased.
Then kusho ukuthi umakhelwane ubone umuntu ogqoke iskipa lesi esifana lesi besigqoke ngumufi.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes. And he says this person, he was against the kitchen window.
Uthi lo muntu lo bangapha ngasefestereni lekhishi.
If he's against the kitchen window, it means he was facing the house.
Yeah.
Bakabheke ngaphakathi endlini.
Do you see that?
Yes.
Uyakubona lokho?
And this person says at that time, it is when the shot was fired.
Yena lo fakazi uthi ngesikhathi leso ngesikhathi kudubulwa ke.
So
Okay.
when he peeped through the window, he saw a person who was standing against the window wearing a t-shirt. It means Senzo, the deceased, was facing the in-house when the shot was fired.
Uthi yena ngesikhathi asho le festereni ke ube lo muntu lo khatha ngasefestereni kusho ukuthi yena umufi ke wayebheke ngaphakathi endlini.
Ngiyalahleka ke la ukuthi
I'm getting lost right there.
wayebheke ngaphakathi endlini after isikhathi esingakanani noma kusenzeka leyo nto.
When he had,
Looking inside the house for how much duration or when that incident happened?
when he had the shot being fired.
Ngesikhathi kudutshulwa.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay?
Then he saw a person standing against the window facing the house.
Ubona umuntu amengale ngasefestereni abheke ngasendlini aqonde mina ngasendlini.
Yeah, I think uzoza yena azokhuluma la ecourt into ayibona ofuthi ngenza njengoba ngaqhuma isibhamu ngabaleka mina mhlambe at some point baxasana khona lapho futhi angazi ukuthi ngaqhuma isibhamu mina ngabaleka.
Maybe we'll come here in
As of
court
this
to
day.
come and testify about it because when the shot was fired or when the shot rang, I ran away myself. Maybe it happened after that.
Okay. Let's move on now to, is it correct that at some stage you were taken to the place of safety?
Kuyiqiniso ukuthi kwesinye isikhathi uyathatha wayiswe endaweni ephephile, place of safety.
Yebo kuyiqiniso.
That is correct.
Are you still there?
Nokwamanje ke usagcine lapho.
Yeah.
No.
So you no longer need security and protection.
Kwamanje awusadingeke yona security kanye nayo protection.
Is it
Ngoba
fair?
lokho akufiki.
Is it, oh,
Sorry, my lord.
must he answer that?
Sorry, my lord. I can just withdraw.
Hayi monga ujudge usekayithatha.
You see, we don't want evidence here which tells anybody where you are, how safe you are, if not unsafe. We don't want that on record.
Uzule nkosana ukuthi ujudge akafuna ufakazi okuzoveza ukuthi ukuphi, usafe kangakanani, uhlala njani lapho, uyangizwisisa. I do understand my lord.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there a statement that was taken from you by Colonel Tillis?
Sikhona statement esathathwa ukuyisithatha nguye uKolonel Buthelezi.
Sikhona statement ziningi statement asebafika. That is why kwayizolo bengithi bengifuna ukuyicacisa yonke le ndaba yaButhelezi before sikhulume ngifuna ukuyicacisa ecourt ukuze necourt izoyazi.
Okay.
Yes, there are men who came to obtain a statement from me. That's why even yesterday I did mention that I want to give the explanation about this Buthelezi so that even the court should have light about that.
Because yonke lento imixene nje
You can
kuba nje
give that
uButhelezi.
explanation.
I beg your pardon?
You can give that explanation.
Ungayinikeza manje incazelo yakho.
Njengoba dusanda kungibuza nge-protection program ngayiswa uye nalapho futhi.
As you have just asked me about protection program, he is the one who took me there. She is the one who took me there.
Okay. Is that what you wanted to say?
Wangisa futhi ethuneni la kaSenzo.
And secondly, she took me to the grave of Senzo.
But ngokuhamba kwesikhathi bengingayazi yonke lento njobe yenza nje uhambe tshela abantu ngala eceleni ukuthi mina ngifuna ukukhuluma only to find out ukuthi ngisasho the very same statement. Wathi emva kwaloko ke wathatha umthoko wami esePitoli wasephumile kimi umthoko washaya whole night le wazwa ichamela wabeka ukhaphethe la bamshuba washaya wazohamba ngakusasa ekseni ehleliswe lahle ngabuye loButhelezi.
I didn't know that while she was doing that, she was speaking with the people on the side, saying that I wanted to speak, and then when she realized that I don't do that, she now went for Mtogozisi, and then Mtogozisi was taken to Pretoria, whereby he was so assaulted, even he wet himself, and then he was choked.
Oh, okay. I think it's not in connection with this, with the evidence in this court.
Ngithemba ukuthi lokho akuhambisana lobufakazi lobo uhambisana nobufakazi bala
It's not
inkampani.
about what we have said.
sengicacisa indaba yabuthelezihle ukuthi ziningi izinto azenzile ezingekho right e-assault abantu eqamba amanga just because angitshela ney'ndaba zakhe engeke ngazi ngiyazikhipha la, so bengimhlonipha ngimthatha njengomama bese ngimbiza ngomama mina, kanti umuntu wenza iy'ndlela zakhe wenza ngendlela yakhe efuna uyena. Ziningi into ezenzile ezirong lo mama
I'm
kakhulu.
just giving clarity about Buthelez's ways which are crooked, which are not nice, because many people have been assaulted out of her own doing. And then I respected her, I called her a mother, but then the things that she did, really.
Sikuyona nje lenkinga ekanje yamadocument ngenxa yobuthelezi ngamanga akhe. Mina ngeke ngikufihle lokho. Lo muntu unamanga lo muntu.
All right, kulungile. We are in this fiasco of doggets because of her lies. I won't hide it.
Thank you, my lord. I've got no further questions.
Re-examination.
As the court pleases, my lord. Mr. Madala, if we can start more or less where Advocate Mshololo ended. When she questioned you about the statement of Mr. Hlope, you mentioned that you know under which conditions that statement was made and as to who was pushing a specific narrative, as it was put.
Ake siqale la kugcina khona u-advocate Msholo la kuze khona ke statement lesika Hlope lesi la uqhaze khona ukuthi wena uyazi ukuthi senziwe ngaphasi kwasiphi isimo nokuthi lo muntu lo wayenenhloso ezinjani aphusha ini.
Yebo ngiyakhumbula and okunye engikukhohlwayo ubuthelezi lo wathi uhlophe uzozangidubule ngoba ngifuna ukukhuluma mina. Ngiyakhumbula lo naye futhi ngamtshela mina.
Yes, I do recall. Then even that Buthelezi mentioned to me that Hlope will come and shoot me because I don't want to talk. I do recall that when I'm mentioning it.
Your Lordship, the last point raised by the witness is new evidence. I'm not sure if we'll be allowed to cross-examine the witness on that. The last point he just mentioned, Your Lordship.
Mr. Baloi?
As a court, please, by all means, they are always at liberty, with the permission of the court, to ask further questions. But the witness did mention of, the witness did make mention of the assaults.
Yes.
Yes. Under what conditions was the statement of Mr. Hlope made?
The statement sakamnumzana Hlope ke senziwa ngaphasi kwasiphi isimo noma ama conditions.
Ngakho ngithi lezi statement lezi zaka Hlope umuntu behind lezi statement ngicabanga ukuthi uyobuthelezi ngoba ubuthelezi ziningi izinto azenzile azishilo ezingekho kule case le. Angazi noma mhlawumbe befuna ukuthi anqonywe or something, angazi ukuthi uyenzele ndento because uconfuse abantu umthetho wakhe.
I said that
Your Lordship, the witness is dealing with character evidence of a potential witness of the defense, and furthermore, is hearsay on his part talking mentioning about what a name Buthelezi did to another person. It's hearsay on his part because he was not there. That's our objection, Your Lordship, based on.
Yes, Mr. Baloi.
Is that correct, please, my lord? Nothing much turns on that. We won't pursue it any further. But are you saying that, or maybe let's put it differently, who took down that statement of Mr. Shope?
ubani uye wabhala statement sakho uhlophe?
Again, Your Lordship, that's hearsay evidence. Mr. Madlala, the witness, sorry, let me say the witness before the court, right now, Your Lordship, we're not sure if he was there or he was not there when they're talking about Mr. Shope, when that statement was taken. It is Mr. Shope who can answer this kind of questions from the state, Your Lordship.
Mr. Baloi.
Well, my lord, the statement was referred to by Advocate Mshodolo. It's on record, my lord.
Can I answer?
We can just put on record as to who the person is who took down the statement.
That is not disputed.
As a
The issue is when that person, when Shope made the statement, this witness was not there.
Yes.
So for this witness to talk about circumstances under which Shope made a statement can only amount to hearsay.
As a God, please, my lord, as we indicated, we're not going to pursue this point any further. It was just put in record as to who took down the statement. That was the purpose of this exercise. Now, Mr. Madlala, both counsel asked you as to why you did not pay for your trip from Durban to Johannesburg on the 26th of October 2014.
I've never asked that question.
Yes, but, well, according to my note, both counsel did.
Well, if you didn't, somebody did, because I recorded that. He was asked about payment
Yes.
for the trip.
Yes.
Yes.
My lord, I don't have a problem with my learned friend. I was just correcting to say both counsel for the defense. Yes. I was
Did you say
correcting
both
that.
counsel?
Yes.
My lord will remember that Advocate Msholola even asked as to on which day does the witness get paid, and as to why he didn't pay for the trip if he was paid a day before he undertook the trip.
There you are. Advocate Msholol.
I'll leave it, my lord.
Come again?
I'll leave it, my lord.
Okay.
Now, Mr. Madlala, at whose initiative did you undertake the trip to Johannesburg?
Ngicela ngibale ukuthi kuzothatha uhambo uye eGoli. Sukelele phi?
Usenzo uyena umuntu wangifonela engithetha ngize ngale ngoba bengihlele ekhaya. Ngisimo sami sokulimala la then ngavuma.
Okay. This is the one who asked me to come over that side because by that time I was just sitting at home because of the condition that I was under. That is my injuries.
Yes.
But umuntu wafaka imali because mase ngifone ngibuza imali sengitholile ngathi mina akangeni imali. Wathi hayibo wama yavala ucingo ngifonela ukheli. So esafuna ukheli yanginaka imessage kimi. Shuthi umuntu wayifaka ukheli but shuthi ngaphansi komyalelo wasenzo.
Because he did ask me if I get the money. I said no, and then he said, hold on, let me call Kaylee. And then while that was still happening, then the message came in. So that means that the person who sent in the money is Kaylee.
Yes. But the point of the matter is the invitation came at the request of the deceased for you to visit Johannesburg.
Isimemo sokuthi uvakashele eGoli siqhamuke kuye umufi.
Yebo kuyo.
That's correct.
Now, how long after this invitation did you then undertake this trip to Johannesburg?
Ngemva kwalesimemo usitholile uthethikazi ngani ukuthi uthatha uhambo ushone khona eGoli?
I think ngambe the following day ngeSunday because bese kuntambama ngalesa sikhathi lami kwase kulate nyana kuntambama. So ngihamba the following day Sunday.
I think I took the trip the following day. It was on a Sunday because it was already late on that day.
Now, Mr. Tobani, on behalf of accused number 1 to 4, questioned you about the statement that you made on the day of the incident on the 26th of October 2014 at the house of the Kumalos. Now, the question is this: was that statement reduced to writing?
That's the statement of which date?
The 26th of October 2014, my lord, at the house of the Kumalos.
That's what this is. Okay. Your Lordship, it's not correct that I did ask the witness about the statement that was put on writing. It's not correct. The question was, he never made statement on that day. But his answer was, he was asked questions, but on the day of the incident, he never made statement. Hence, the final part of counsel to say, what was it reduced in writing? His answer was, he never made a statement, which I put it to him that you never made statement on that day. Then he said, but I was asked questions. So it's clear that he never made statement on that day, not to say, was it reduced in writing? As a part of this.
As a court pleases. Perhaps can we then just clarify this aspect?
Mhlambe singacacisa ke lokho kulandelako.
Did you make a written statement on the 26th of April 2014,
Wasenza ne statement esibhaliswa nge-26
on the day of the incident at the Kumalos?
nge-26 zaka October 2014 lapha kwaKhumalo wasenza istatement esabhaliswa phansi.
Ukhona umunye I think iphoyisa leli yalingibuza imibuzo. In fact wonke ama statement wami bengibuzwa. So akanjalo wonke angazi makuthiwa ngalela langa ngisenze kanjani statement. Ngangibuzwa yilona iphoyisa leli libhala imibuzo.
I mean, there was a police officer. I mean, all my statements that I made, I was asked questions and they will write. So I don't understand when they ask me a statement.
But do you remember if you signed that statement on the 26th of October 2014?
Ungakhumbula ukuthi le statement ngalesuku lesehlakalo nge-26 zaka October 2014 uyawasayina?
Ngisakhumbulile kahle mhlambe ngasayina ngisakhumbula.
I don't recall if I signed it or not.
And maybe let's put it differently. Do you remember if the policeman was making notes or did he write down a statement?
Ungakhumbula ukuthi mhlambe ke le police abelenza ama-notes noma belibhala
I really
statement.
object to the line of questioning by the state. He's trying to lead the witness to an answer. The witness already answered, Your Lordship. He says he doesn't
In
remember.
what respect is he leading? Because the question is, do you remember whether the police officer made notes or wrote a statement?
Then before that, he
So
answered,
what is the leading part?
did he write? Did he write? Or did he write? And before that, Your Lordship,
No.
with due respect, the witness answered that he doesn't remember. Now, the state is repeating itself.
The question is, do you remember whether the police officer made notes or wrote a statement? I don't see anything leading in that.
That's a direct.
Because it doesn't require one answer. He will answer what applies, whether the police officer made notes or wrote a statement.
I apologize, Your Lordship. I don't want to disrupt, but the witness already answered. Now the state is repeating itself in another direction to lead the witness. The second, I have a problem with the second part, with due respect. The second part says, or did you hear right? The witness already
There you are,
answered.
Mr. Baloy.
Mr. Kopisma, but we submit that it's a perfectly permissible question to get clarity. Was there a statement, or did the police officer just merely make notes?
I allow the question.
As a court pleases.
Please answer.
Ungaphendula ke mfoka amadlala ukuthi bephoyisa belibhala nje ama-notes noma belibhala sona statement.
Khona ilokhuza ngalo exercise indlela eliphethe ayibhala kuwo. Khona exercise ayiphethe.
There was an exercise that he was writing on it.
Yes. And what happened after him?
But I didn't hear the answer clearly.
He had an exercise, I don't know if it's a book or what, but the witness said an exercise where he was writing in.
Yes, and what happened after he finished writing on the exercise book?
Kwase kwenzani ngemva kokuthi aqedile ukubhala kuyo le exercise book?
Engikukhumbulayo nje kwafika ngabona sengibona kwakhona umfundisi wafika lapho ukuthi wayeze kanjani angazi. Owangithathwa ngise bedroom la afike khona ngoba ngangikhala ngalo langa. Wafika wangithandazela something angimazi ukuthi wakupha lo mfundisi.
And then what happened after is that a pastor arrived. He took me to the bedroom because I was crying on that day, and then he prayed for me.
Yes.
Did you see that notebook further after that?
Ngemva kwalokho uye waphinde wayibona futhi yona le notebook le la kade abhala khona.
Ukuthi benganakanga ngaleso sikhathi because izinto ebesemkhondweni nami bengekho nje esimweni esiright benganakanga yonke into because
But at that time I did not notice anything much because of the condition of my mind.
emva kwaloko eyintatha ila sasuka khona ke lapha esikhothwa ke sesiya endlini kubo la kuhlala khona eMalbatini la behlala khona uSenzo noKay.
Because in the early hours then that we were escorted going to the house in Alberton where Kelly and the deceased were residing.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Tobani questioned you regarding Exhibit N. That is your statement marked 810, which was made on the 27th of October 2014 at Fosloras Police Station.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uye wakubuza ke umeli uThobani ngestatement sakho wasenza nge-17 zika-October.
And he wanted to know from you as to why in this statement you mention specific times, like in paragraph 3, you mention the time 16:31. In paragraph 4, you mention the time 12 o'clock. He wanted to know from you as to why were you able to remember these specific times. Now, the question is this: how was your recollection of the events at the time when you made the statement on the 27th of October 2014?
Bosimenje somqabango ngesikhathi ke ukhuluma ke ngaso isehlakalo lesi nonikeza le statement nge-27 zika-October 2014.
Ngachaza nakele mthwana ukuthi la since kuneyikhathi ikhathi ababethi ngiassume ukuthi mhlambe kwakuyisikhathi sini akuzona ikhathi exactly ne and futhi ngangeke
I did explain even to Mr. Towan that the times that I mentioned here in the statements are the times that they made me just to estimate. I mean, I did highlight even to them that there was no exact time that I can recall. Kubeka?
and okuningi la cause bekusawu 2014 okuningi bekusasemqondweni wami okuningi bengisakukhumbula okuningi yeah.
Because it was 2014 and everything was still fresh inside my mind. I could still recall it.
Now, when you depose to subsequent statements that have been handed in as Exhibit K, L, and O, Exhibit K is marked A49, dated the 2nd of November 2014. Exhibit L, dated marked A110, dated 7 February 2018. And Exhibit O, marked A133, dated 17 February 2020. When these subsequent statements were made, what was the position? Were you asked to clarify certain aspects, or were you giving a narration of what happened?
Yes, consequence you are related.
That's a leading question. The word clarify, it leads to the witness. When you're asked to clarify, that's a leading question. Doesn't give a witness a freedom of expression. It leads the witness to deduct an answer from that question, Your Lordship.
Mr. Baloyi?
Well, with the greatest of respect, my lord, I don't think it's a leading question. The witness can just simply state what the position was. We don't think it's a leading question at all, my lord.
Are you not able to rephrase it?
It requires the witness to explain.
Yes.
Are you able to explain that, Mr. Madlala?
Lala ke Nkosi yami ke umbuzo uthi ngesikhathi sowenza le statement lezi ezingene njengobufakazi la enkantolo ezilandela kuyena uK no L no O kizo le statement lezi ke ngesikhathi zibhala bebacela ukuthi uqaqisho okuthize noma boqoqa indaba njengoba iyenzeka.
Abantu abangithatha i-statement abaningi bangihlukumezile kakhulu angifuni ukuqamba amanga because abanye bebeze bafika emsebenzini kumlahle kama ibheme emnyama bebeke ingilo lephepha elikhulu eliyelo kunama handcuffs la eceleni mase siyobhala basitshela ukuthi bazosibopha if singakhulumi bazosibopha ayikho into abazoyenza because bekangithatha bangise point la bangithatha khona ngelinye ilanga futhi.
This line of re-exam is introducing a new evidence. It's inviting a new evidence from the witness.
There you are.
Mr. Madlala, if you can just briefly respond, were you requested to respond to certain aspects, or were you giving a narration of what happened? Were you supposed to further statements?
Ngesikhathi unikeza le statement ekhulunywa ngazo ezilandela uqela nje ukuthi uqaqisa amaphuzu amanye nje noma ke bosoqoqa indaba ngendlela isehlakalo senzeka ngakhona.
Indlela okwenzeka ngakhona ngifuna ukuqamba amanga ama statement amaningi engiwabhalile akhona bengiwabhala right ngi-right khona bengiwabhala bengisabise as if manje yimi ngenze lento or yimi ngikhona i-information engiyifihlayo ofuthi mina vele ngizibuze ngazi yini ngayifihla ubani ngimsabayo wayesendlini mangikwazi ukukhomba la abantu abala anginandaba nomunye umuntu mina ngeke ngisaba kumkhomba I think ngivithami ngamkhomba but angifuni ukukhomba umuntu orong into engayisho if ukhona umuntu ola labantu njengoba bayenza lento le yiwona ozosho ukuthi ubani wayemthumile finish.
My lord, that's the new evidence that is being led now.
Mr. Madala,
Yes.
when you are asked a straight question, you are tending to bring other things that you didn't say. You see, you are no longer giving evidence. You gave evidence and you were cross-examined. The past 2 days you were being cross-examined by Mr. Tovale and Advocate Msholo. What is happening now is issues that came up under cross-examination, which the state considers as those where the record might need to be put more straight, are the ones that he is raising. So when he asks you a question, answer that question and stop. Now, like now, if I give you an example, this thing of bringing handcuffs and so forth, you never testified about handcuffs being placed near and so forth. It makes what they are calling new evidence, which is not allowed at law. You should, if you would consider it necessary, you should have said it when you were giving what we call evidence in chief, which you are no longer doing now.
Ngiyakuzwa ngakureport emaphoyiseni lokho. Ngakureport before. Kulabo abantu abafika emsebenzini.
I do follow
So
well.
all other questions that come,
Okay.
answer that question and don't bring other stories that even if you think they are relevant.
Okay. So, Mr.
Yes, then just briefly, we're responding to issues that were put to you, or were you giving a narration when you made subsequent statements?
Nezile statement ezilandelayo ke sophendula imibuzo kade bakubuza yona mhlambe ke bafuna ukucacisela noma ke uqoqa indaba ngendlela kwenzeki ngakhona.
Bengiphendula kulezi zinto ababezibuza.
I was answering to what they were asking me.
So, God, please, my Lord, this is past court time.
Yes.
We can adjourn the matter to tomorrow or sit till late and finish with the witness.
With due respect, I humbly request that tomorrow we finish at lunchtime. When the state finished with this witness, and we request that adjournment, I'd like to consult with the clients with regard to some instructions they gave me earlier, Your Lordship. By the time when Senior Counsel Msholo was
I can't hear you.
when Senior Counsel Msholo was busy with the cross-examination, I was giving instructions. Hence, I request that tomorrow we adjourn by 1 o'clock, or when Advocate Baloyi finish with the re-examination, so that I can take instructions, Your Lordship. Then on Monday, I'll be able to inform the Honorable Court with regard to those instructions, Your Lordship.
Please, my Lord, we can adjourn them to tomorrow. It shouldn't take more than an hour, my Lord. The re-exam shouldn't take more than 3/4 of an hour, my Lord.
Actually, take the pages out. Pages missing. May the accused rise.
Simember wethu.
This case is postponed with the accused in custody postponed overnight to the 18th of November 2022. The accused have been custody.
Lekala yahlehliswa lizophinde likhulu futhi kusasa la nge-18 umusho lokusejeni. Alright, we'll solve it, alright?